Hey, sweet friends, welcome back to the second video in our Disney World full tutorial series. Now, in the last video, we decorated how I made the Mickey head that had the year 2022 on it. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to decorate the circle cookie with the Cinderella Castle silhouette. Now, don't forget that all of these videos will be in a playlist on YouTube, and I am going to be stitching them all together and putting them all together on my Patreon in one really massive video. So if going through the playlist is just too much and you're interested in having all of these tutorials all together in one long video, you can find it on Patreon. You will also find all of the graphics for this set available to you on Patreon as well. All right, so without further ado, let's get going on this particular design, which is the castle silhouette for our Disney World theme set. Welcome to Rock City Cookies, where we talk about all things cookies. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Now, in the description box below, I do have the cookie cutter that I used for this particular design. Now, I have said it in almost all of my videos, but I have a metal set of circle cookie cutters that I got on Amazon. So I used one of those circles for this cookie. If you do not have a set of circle cookie cutters, these are really inexpensive. I think the whole set is maybe $9 or $10, but you get all the different sizes of circles, and I use them all of the time. And in my opinion, if you can get a lot of use out of a cookie cutter set, it is never a bad investment. With the circle cookie, we are going to outline it. I decided to do this cookie in red because when I'm doing a set, when I'm designing a set, I don't like to duplicate one color more than the other if I can. When I am designing a set, I really like to make sure that every color in that set, especially the dominant colors, are represented evenly as much as I can. So with this particular Disney World design, I knew that I was going to be using red, yellow, and black and white because that red, yellow, and black is kind of that classic Mickey color. And of course, white incorporates into that. So I knew that with all of these designs, which there's a ton of designs in this set, but I knew when I was making these designs that I wanted to spread out those colors, the white and the red and the yellow and the black. I wanted to spread them out over the course of my designs so that I didn't have one color showing up more than the others too much. So last time I decided to do a white background for our Mickey head that had the year that we were going to Disney World on it, which means that this design needed to be either red or yellow. And so I chose red for the background of my cookie. So as always, I outline with one consistency, a thick consistency. I flood with a thinner consistency, and I do both of those things right away, outline and then flood right away. And then I let that cookie dry for several hours under a fan. Once again, I'm doing marker work on top of this cookie to kind of give it a little bit more detail, just a little bit fancier of a cookie than just a plain background. And I don't own an airbrush, so that means I have to do it with markers. And marker work means that my cookie needs to be really dry before I touch it with a marker. So I dry everything under a fan. Highly recommend that you dry all your cookies under a fan. And then once that has dried, I decided that instead of doing a Mickey patterned background or anything like that, I was just going to do simple little dots. So when I do dots, I usually start in the middle of my cookie and I work my way out. This is I just eyeball it. It's not perfect, but I have found that if you start in the center of your cookie and you work your way out, you typically get the desired look and everything looks pretty even. Now, this graphic I did find once again on Google. And so if you're looking for a graphic and you are not a Patreon member where I have given you this graphic, then you just need to look for a castle silhouette. So just Google Cinderella Castle silhouette, Disney World Castle silhouette, something along those lines, and you should find an image that's either this exact image or something close to it. Now, obviously, there was lots of images to choose from, but I did really like that this particular castle silhouette had the Mickey head in the middle. I think the Cinderella Castle is iconic in itself, and it definitely, you would have still gotten that this was Disney World just by using the castle silhouette. But when you add that Mickey head in the middle, it just really, there's no doubt, this is the Disney World Castle. In order to get the tiny details of the flag and the silhouette itself, you're going to use thick icing And two, either use a very small tip if you use piping tips, or me personally, I try not to use piping tips unless I have to. So in this case, I cut a very small hole in the tip of my bag to do this detailed piping work. So with the combination of the thick icing and a small hole, you're able to achieve a lot more detail and definition. So the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, I'm going to project the castle onto my cookie, and then I'm going to outline it completely, turn off my projector, and then now I'm going to flood my cookie with a medium consistency black icing. And because I'm still doing this in a small area, once again, you are going to want to have a small tip on this bag. And that helps to control where that icing is going to go. Plus, it also slows down the flow of the icing so that you don't accidentally get too much in an area. And it also helps to still achieve that puffy look. Even though this is detail work on top of a cookie, I don't like my details to fall flat. So a medium consistency icing with a smaller piping hole definitely helps to get you just the right amount of icing to keep that details a little bit puffy, which just helps give it a little bit more of a polished finish. And that's it. We have our castle silhouette cookie completely done. We will move on to the next tutorial, which will be how I made my own sprinkles for this set. So join me there in a few days. Thank you so much for watching, sweet friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.